Yo, what is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Man, I hope everybody is doing fantastic. Shout out to Kevin Cronin. Shout out to Danny Thomas. Shout out to Jay Berman. I see y'all already up in here waiting for your boy to show up. How are all y'all doing tonight? Hey, man, I know it's been a minute, okay? I know there ain't been... Oh, man, got some stuff on my shirt? No, okay, it's just the light. The light's all crazy. I know it's been a minute. I know I haven't given you guys a whole lot of content. I know that I have not done a whole lot of videos, but I appreciate all those who rock with me, and when I hit that go live button, there's people in here waiting for your boy to show his face, man. I hope all y'all doing fantastic. Oh, okay, Jay, hey, you go do what you gotta do, man. You go do what you gotta do. So, I think we're gonna have an interesting show, but I'm not sure yet, okay? Because I'm waiting to see. But in the meantime, I feel like I got something on my shirt here. I got something on my shirt. Did Otis jump on me or something? Otis might have jumped on me. I might got a little something on my shirt. But I think we're gonna have an interesting show, and we're gonna see here in a couple of minutes. I'm just waiting to see if my scheduled guest is going to arrive. I'm sitting here. I'm looking in my Streamlab. I'm waiting to see. We may have a special guest here today. But in the interim, right? I just wanted to come here and get a couple of things off my chest, man. That's all. I want to get a couple of things off my chest, man. So Danny Thomas, you driving home? Danny Thomas. Oh, wait a minute. I just seen somebody pop in. Perfect. All right, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Eagles. Why would Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Eagles? I don't know. The dog is good, man. He's a maniac. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay? You guys know that I am a guy that's always here for the smoke, okay? And he just popped out. Wait, come back, bring your ass back in here. And he just popped out. Hey, what's going on, Word 21? There we go. You guys know that I am a dude who's always here for the smoke. You guys know that I am a dude that never, ever, ever runs away from anybody ever in life. You guys know that I'm the guy that if someone got something to say to me, I want them to say it to me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in an individual that I had a little bit of verbal fisticuffs with on Twitter. Now, here's the deal. I haven't spoke to this guy. I don't know this guy's name. I don't know nothing about this guy, okay? I have not spoken to him before this stream started. The only correspondence that we have had is setting up him being able to come in here to talk to your boy today. That's it, okay? So none of this shit is set up. None of this shit is scripted. All of this shit is live. Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this gentleman has the same energy that he had when he was talking to me on Twitch. On Twitter. I hope this gentleman brings the same energy that he had to me when he was doing a little verbal fisticuffs with your boy on Twitch. All right? I'm hoping that this gentleman has that same energy. Again, don't know him, never met him, never talked to him, know nothing about him. Let me bring him on in so he can introduce himself to y'all. Hold on a second. Let's get this cracking. Let's get this cracking. We're going to go ahead and do that.
What's up, Pest? How you doing?
We're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to go ahead and go to this screen. So, John Dippo, is that your name? John Dippo?
It's Depot, like the Home Depot.
Like the Home
It's a
Depot?
spin off of my last name.
John
John
Depot. Nice to meet you, John Depot. I am Pest The Analyst.
Nice to meet you, Pest.
It's nice to meet you,
How you
sir.
doing, Pest The Analyst?
So here's the deal.
Yes, sir.
Here's the deal, okay? you had a lot of vile and vitriol for me on the Twitters. All right, let's do a little recap, shall we? Why don't we do a little bit of recap? So, the initial conversation that started this interaction was really I gotta scroll back because it was a couple of days ago. I gotta scroll back. Let me just pull it up. I had it up, but apparently it closed out. No big deal, right? Because we live and I don't give a shit and I'm an unprofessional streamer and I'm not trying to impress nobody. I just come here and I give my opinion on football because I've been doing it for a long time. But let me find the beginning of this interaction. I'll find the beginning of this interaction. Okay, so there was a lot of talk on the Twitters over the last, I don't know, 10 days. A lot of talk about our general manager and some of the things that he's done leading up to today. A lot of talk about draft picks, a lot of talk about players, a lot of talks about free agency. And y'all know me, I'm a guy that's always in the mix when it comes to the Twitters. I'm a guy that's always let my opinion be thrown out there to talk to people, right? And so essentially what happened is that I commented on a couple of things. It was between myself and some other very prominent figures on Twitter. And my point was this, that people like to stand on the mountaintop and scream about the things that they got right in hindsight, all right? That was essentially how the interaction happened. I brought up Saquon Barkley. I brought up how I didn't think Saquon Barkley at 2 was the correct pick. I made mention about how I love Saquon Barkley. I made mention about how I'm happy Saquon Barkley is on this team, but it was the wrong pick for what the team needed at that point in time. I've been on record as saying that I always thought that the Giants should have either traded back or take Quentin Nelson. And this is where your boy John pops in, because your boy John, apparently, as you can see from the picture, is a Saquon Barkley maniac. He got a shrine in his profile picture to the great Saquon Barkley. It's probably an actual picture of his
autographed
crib.
jersey, bro.
It's probably a picture of that's in his crib because right. he's got an entire shrine dedicated to our running back, who, by the way, I like. But here's what got my goat. John, I have you on record as retorting to me saying that that Saquon Barkley was the wrong pick. You proceeded to tell me that it's simply false, and the mere construction of this sentence is so stupid it's to disqualify you from having a driver's license for 6 months. Sir, were those your words?
I believe so.
Those were your words. They were whack as fuck.
I believe.
Okay, so
yeah, right.
So additionally, you said that people that wanted Saquon were wrong, and you said this should get one thrown in a mental hospital. The other lack of intelligence it takes to believe such lunacy should be treated as a crime against humanity. Sir, are these your words also?
I think so. It's fucking funny.
That sounds like that was also additionally whack. That was also additionally super ass whack. But I digress. Okay. And then I said that running back at 2 is the wrong pick, because it was the wrong pick for where we were as a team at that point in time, because we were not a running back away from winning a championship.
But that's not the reason why he was drafted.
Regardless of how good said running back was, I then get a response from you that says, "LOL, a guard. Man, football might be a little much for you. Might try coloring." Were those your words, John?
Yeah, I think so.
Nobody's laughing at that, but okay, that's not a problem. And so then
you might not be, but
I said, okay, nameless, faceless asshole on Twitter. I was going to actually introduce you as nameless, faceless asshole on Twitter, but you have a name, and I wanted to at least respect you enough to let you tell people what your name is. John Depot, like the Home Depot. All right, cool. All right. To which you replied, "Whoa, semi-pro, laughing my fucking ass off. This dude just flexed about the equivalent to a men's softball beer league championship." That pretty much sums up Twitter right there. Good night, y'all. Were these also your words?
I think so.
You think? I mean, no. I'm actually reading it verbatim. This is exactly what you said. I flexed
Yeah,
about
so
the equivalent of a men's softball beer
question.
league championship. So but that was what you said. Now here's the thing. John, you seem like the type of guy that laughs at your own jokes when nobody else laughs at your jokes. And then like after you laugh, you go, "Man, that's crazy, isn't it?" Like that's the type of guy that you seem like, John. I just want to make sure that I understand who I'm speaking to. Are you there, John?
I don't think so. I think that you might have taken it a little personally. Yeah, I'm here. I'm in the mountains right now, so I don't have awesome service. I don't know how well you can hear me.
Okay. Hey, Kush is in the building. What's up, Kush?
Yeah.
What up, Jaden
So,
Dawkins? Word 21. I see all y'all. I'm sorry. I gotta handle somebody who wanted to flame me on Twitter. Okay, so what were we saying, John?
Well, it wasn't necessarily you. It's just the idea of saying it's the gap in the conversation. Like you said, you don't draft the running back at 2, suggesting that it was to go get a championship. That's not necessarily what the move was for. Yes, it was to see if they can get Eli another kick at the can, right? I think they owed them the respect of doing that because of 5 years of Jerry Reese. But more importantly than even just that, that's a consolation prize. What you're trying to do is now break a new quarterback into the NFL in New York, of all the fucking cities in the league. So what's the better thing to do? Bring him in with a lack of weapons, or where he's coming into New York, he doesn't have the running game. He's going to be the 100% focal point of that offense from the fucking get-go. Or is it better off to have an established, phenomenal running game that he can come in almost as the second fiddle to a great running back? So you have an offense that already can be sustained because if you have a better offensive line, good running game, like Derrick Henry, you're going to be able to run yourself maybe even into the playoffs. So instead of having him come in and have to be Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, where it's his show, you break him into the league in New York. Again, that's super, super important, behind Saquon Barkley. So it wasn't just about Eli get a championship and that's it. Now it's a waste of a pick. That's just not the case. It served 2 purposes, and I don't know why no one else looks at it like that. The kid's not going to play for a year. He's going to play for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. AP is still playing. What do you think about that?
I want to make sure you got all your thoughts out. You got all your thoughts out for this specific moment, for that point. Okay, now allow me to retort. Okay, because you talk about having a guy that can help a new quarterback, but at the time we didn't have a new quarterback because John Mara was dead set on trying to win with Eli. We were actually trying to win with Eli, and we were planning on playing Eli. We were planning on playing Eli for at least 2 more years. Now, if what they wanted to do,
you're just making that up.
No, I'm not, because Eli played for 2 more years until he was like super, super busted. But we're gonna get into why Eli was super, super busted, and understand that I'm an Eli apologist. Okay, I love me some Eli. So you got to understand that about me. But Eli Manning played for 2 more years after that, regardless of the fact that we ended up getting Daniel Jones. But here's the thing:
he finished his contract. Yes.
But if the plan would have worked and we would have gotten a championship with Eli, we would not have been in a position to even get a new quarterback. There would have been no conversation about getting a new quarterback if we would not have sucked ass. Because Daniel Jones was not going to get past. Daniel Jones was not going to get past Washington. He wasn't going to get past Denver. He probably wouldn't have got past 15 if we're lucky. So
I agree with you.
So there's no quarterback in this equation. There is zero new quarterback in this equation that you're talking about.
Bro, you have to understand when we're a franchise, they were at the end of an era. They knew that they had an expiration date on the court to rebuild this entire franchise. So they knew that this wasn't like flip some switches, 12 months, 14 months later, where all systems go. They need to be completely torn down. You got a lot of guys getting a lot of money, underperforming in the middle of contracts, right? So they knew that it was unlikely to go get a championship with Eli Manning, but what they wanted to do was at least get back to respectability, and they wanted to be able to take their time to try to find the quarterback that they loved. It just so happens that the very next year they were in position to get the guy that they wanted in Daniel Jones. It wasn't like okay, let's draft Saquon Barkley. Oh, but then it fucks us out of getting a quarterback the next year. No, it was let's see how good we can be with Saquon Barkley, and when the opportunity presents itself, then we'll address drafting a quarterback. Because if they would have made the playoffs in 2018 when he was there, you're right. They're not going to probably get a quarterback that year. But they're also probably not getting rid of Eli Manning as well. He's coming back for 2019, which he did anyways, right? To finish out the last year of his contract. Then at that point, even they go to the playoffs again. Eli retires. They get into the division round. They lose. Aaron Rodgers, whatever. He retires. The next year, they're to draft a quarterback. They can get some type of a midline veteran, a stopgap until they are in the position to run swing. So you have to look at it laser-focused, blinders on a couple. They look at it from a couple of years of an approach. You got to fill in the gaps. You have to add context to each one of the points.
Now let me ask you this, John. Let me ask you this.
Please do.
So, okay, let's just say hypothetically, like we're picking up Saquon Barkley for the future. What's wrong with our offense right now?
Offensive line, which they addressed the very next day, drafting.
I didn't even have to steer.
Then right before that,
to steer him in the direction of that offensive line. Okay, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I understand football. You need to go to offensive line. So what did they do? They just had come off the third or fourth year of Eric Flowers sucking cock the whole entire season. They went out and they gave big money to the best possible free agent they could that offseason in Nate Solder. Yes, in 2020 hindsight, it didn't work out. Who knows if it was because of what was going on with his son. It is what it is. They took the swing that they needed at the position of need and got a high-line free agent. It didn't work out. That's a different story. They did what they did. So you got to look at it as they got the left tackle, a guy who had 2 or 3 Super Bowl rings. He was good enough to win Super Bowl. So you have to understand that they didn't think that they were fishing at the bottom of the ponds. They thought that they were getting at least a decent guy. Understanding they probably overpay because that's how NFL free agency works. You overpay for free agents, especially decent dudes, right? Left tackle. They were able to get a high-quality left guard that people mocked in the first round. So now you just fixed instantaneously the left side of your line. Yeah, you can't go out right off the bat and get a high-end free agency center. So they got a fucking C-levels free agent center just to fill until they can get a trade, until they can draft somebody the next year, right? And then the next year, what they do, they got Kevin Zeitler, right?
You know what?
You can't positions all in one shot in one off season. But you're not going to get Pro Bowl talent.
But you know what would help this process along? Having the best guard in football. The guy you laughed at me and said I should stick to coloring when I was talking about. Guaranteed the best guard in football. Quentin Nelson is the best guard in football.
But the best guard in football is not.
Quentin Nelson is the best.
I believe it, and I hope he goes to the Hall of Fame.
Quentin Nelson's the best guard in football.
Yeah,
we had an opportunity to take him. We had an opportunity to take him and build around him. Now, I like Will Hernandez.
You don't build around a guard though, bro.
You build around the entire line. Look at what the Dallas Cowboys did. Look at what the Dallas Cowboys did. The Dallas Cowboys spent multiple draft picks, multiple drafts in years in a row.
First round.
Solidifying their offensive line. Now, I understand that the Cowboys ain't won no championships, but they've been competitors for as long as I can remember. They just now started to fall off.
Those draft picks made Dak Prescott, hopefully, makes him $200-300 million in his career. Made Ezekiel Elliott $100 million. Those draft picks led to them getting those contracts. So I agree. I wish that we can go and the next 3-4 years, this year, 2021, if you can get Sewell or whoever that is invest in the offensive line. You put a fortress in front of mediocre talent, they play well. You put a fortress in front of good talent, they play elite. So I'm with you on that. But you can't say that you're going to build a team around a guard,
no,
right? You need two guards. That should tell you right.
Build a team around your trenches. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have Thomas, who I like Thomas. I think Thomas is going to be a monster. I think he's got a high-ass ceiling, and I think he's going to be really good. He could have been standing next to Quentin Nelson. He could have been standing next to Quentin Nelson. And we would have been bad anyway.
Fine.
And we would have been bad anyway. That's the point. That's the biggest point that I'm trying to make. We were going to suck no matter what. Saquon Barkley or not, we were going to suck no matter what. We could have Andrew Thomas and Quentin Nelson standing next to each other on the left side of the offensive line. That's how you build a team, inside out. Trenches are everything. I don't give a shit about a skill player if no one can block long enough for that skill player to get open. So yes, it's nice to have. It's nice to have a talent. It's nice to have a talent like Saquon Barkley on this team. It's nice. I will never, ever complain about Saquon Barkley when he does amazing shit on his team. But if it doesn't translate to us winning, which it hasn't, it's a waste of his fucking talent. Now everybody is calling this dude a bust. Everybody is calling this dude injury prone. Everybody is questioning whether or not he's going to be good or not. Everybody is saying this ridiculous ass shit about Saquon Barkley because he has no one blocking for him.
It's so dumb.
And when he did it, and when he got the opportunity to block, to run behind a competent line, because I won't even call our offensive line good yet, but I will say that they're competent, motherfucker gets hurt. So he doesn't even got an opportunity to show what he can do behind a competent line. But the first 2 years of his career, he's had no one blocking for him.
And look how good he did still. Bro, look at that first year that he had.
To this team winning right now.
It didn't. They had no defense.
We are not a Saquon Barkley away from being competitive. Fuck Super Bowls. Fuck
right
winning
now?
the division. No,
right now?
we are still not a Saquon Barkley away from being a competitive team. We're not. If we
were a competitive team without Saquon Barkley. Were you watching the same thing as I was?
When?
This season we weren't competitive?
Bro.
This season we weren't competitive.
Bro, okay, so I just want to make
There was
sure,
three bad games when Daniel Jones got hurt. You're going to tell me that the Giants weren't competitive this year.
I just want to make sure I understand this. You pounding your chest during a season when no one in our division had a winning record? Like, for real? That's what you're doing right now?
That's not the point.
No, that is the point.
No,
that is
what
the
I'm
point.
saying.
No one in our division had a winning record.
Not the point.
If this was a normal year,
you're changing
the conversation. No, I'm not. If this was a normal year, there is no chance that we are in contention to win a division. None at all. You can't pound your chest about being competitive when the entire division is ass juice. We all sucked.
But that's two separate things, bro. That's two separate things. They played 16 games. You're talking about 6 of them, and we should have won all 6 of them.
You just said that we were competitive without Saquon Barkley in a year when the entire division sucked. Really? That's going to be your argument.
You're taking two separate parts. You're taking
it's
two
the
separate,
sum. It's the sum of two parts.
Thoughts,
one doesn't work if the other doesn't work.
No, it's not. You're making two. You're talking about potatoes and fucking tires. You're talking about two. We were competitive against better teams. We were competitive against the Steelers in week 1.
Did we
win?
We
were competitive against the Bears. We were competitive against the Rams.
We
were competitive against what?
Did we win any of these games you're talking
about?
Bro,
that's not what I'm saying.
Isn't it the whole point? Is the point of this to be? Is the point?
But now you're changing it again.
I'm asking a question. Bro. Is the point of this?
You asked competitive. Now you're asking winning.
Is the
competitive and winning are two different things?
Because when I'm talking
the
about
point is to win.
When I'm talking about being competitive, I'm talking about being competitive in the scheme of winning our division and making the playoffs. Being competitive in a game doesn't mean shit if you don't win the fucking games. It doesn't.
The point of the conversation was competitive or not. And to say that they didn't play competitive football for all but maybe 2-3 games the entire season. The San Francisco game, they got blown out. They weren't fucking ready for it. They got blown out against the Cardinals and against the Ravens. Every other game they were competitive in. It was one or two plays, probably an Evan Ingram play, multiple different times away from them actually winning those games. What if Ingram makes that catch, right? What if they would have called back both of those touchdowns against Dallas the first time? What if they would have called back Golden Tate against the defender, against Golden Tate that one time on the 2-point conversion that could have won them the game? You're talking about multiple different games that a 6-10 team, 1, 2, 3 plays makes them a 9-win team, and you're gonna say they're not competitive, bro? I'm not saying they're competing with the Chiefs. I'm not saying they're gonna go smack them next year. I'm not saying that. But to say they're competitive and they're this fucking downtrodden shit right now, it's just simply not true.
Bro,
it's just simply not true. Saquon doesn't get hurt this year. They have a good year.
Bro, they don't.
They win those games.
They are not competitive against a Dallas Cowboys full powered. The Dallas Cowboys were a shoo-in and win the division until Dak Prescott got hurt. They were a shoo-in. Cancel Christmas. The Dallas Cowboys were a shoo-in to win it running away. They were a shoo-in to win it running away without their starting quarterback. Bruh, are you serious? You don't think
that's not true? That's still not true.
You don't think
how could you say that? We beat them the last game of the season. How could they be a shoo-in?
Without Dak Prescott? You don't think with Dak Prescott the Cowboys aren't better? For real?
And you don't think this Giants with the Saquon isn't better?
I don't know.
They lost their most important player. We lost our most important player.
Are our wide receivers still not getting separation? Are we still running stupid ass curl routes on 3rd and 25?
No, if Saquon is fucking here, but if Saquon is here, they'll play more akin to how they played last year, with less talent, with a way worse offensive line, with almost no running game. Think about it, bro. The first half of the season, Daniel Jones was the leading runner on the team. He outran everybody. Saquon, Devontae Jones, or Devontae Freeman, whatever his fucking name is. All those guys. Goldman, all of Alfred Morris, he outran all of them. He was the only person left in the wilderness to fucking do anything against. So the defenses were able to tee off. That's fine. Saquon's there, bro. You can't tell me that a guy that can take a fucking just halfback dive, 85 yards for a touchdown, throw up deuces on you and say, see you later. That's a game-changing, that's demoralizing. You can't tell me that that's not going to give linebackers a little bit extra cover, a little extra, maybe a second thought that maybe Ingram actually has maybe an extra step. Maybe he doesn't hear those footsteps.
No, because Ingram's going to drop the ball. Player. No, because Ingram's going to drop the ball. Because that's what
he didn't drop the ball last year. Last year he had like 2 drops the whole year.
What you mean? Evan Ingram's first two years in the league, when he wasn't hurt, he was dropping passes like mad. What you talking about?
And then Saquon came.
Saquon helping Evan Ingram. Oh my God, bro! Saquon helping Evan Ingram catch balls, y'all. You're talking about a team game, or you're a football coach. Saquon's so good, y'all, that he can make wide receivers and tight ends catch better. That's how good Saquon Barkley is.
You're taking pressure off of them, bro. Half the game is mental, bro. Half the game is mental.
Man, listen. First of all, John,
you're gonna tell me.
First of all, John, I'm almost 40 years old, man. I've been playing and coaching football for about 30 fucking years, man. You don't have to teach me a goddamn thing about this game. Man, and I don't say that.
I don't know about that, man.
And I don't say that to say that I know more than you, right? Because I'm not that kind of guy to say that I know more than you. I just know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, I'm not one of these guys out here that's just talking out of his ass based on what he sees on TV. I've done this. I've played this and coached this at a semi-professional level. I was not good enough to be a professional. Okay. I was not good enough to be a pro.
Sure.
I was not big enough. I was not strong enough. I was not fast enough. Okay, but I was good enough.
Would you agree?
Go ahead.
Would you agree or disagree with the fact that you may not know 100 of every single aspect and dynamic of each individual football idea and thought?
No, I'm not the fucking be-all, end-all of football. Are you?
Okay, so then you can accept. No. But what I am is very fucking smart, and what I am is looking at it from a perspective that the team is looking at it for, that actually explains logic.
This is the guy that laughs at his own jokes, chat. That's who this guy is. That's who we're talking to right now. We're talking to the guy that laughs at his own fucking jokes. Okay? Because if I can sit here and say, hey man, I don't have all the fucking answers, but John here is like, I'm very smart and I know what the team is thinking. John, how long you been working for the New York Giants football organization? How long you been working for them? Because you must have all the fucking insider information.
0 years.
Well, how the fuck can you talk like you know?
It's not that.
How the fuck can you talk like you know what this team's thinking?
there's a common thread of intelligence that runs through.
Bro,
there's a common thought that adds up to.
None of us know what this fucking
yes,
team
bro,
is thinking.
that's how you come to a conclusion.
None of us know what this
No,
team is
but
thinking. None of us know what
simply
this team
ridiculous.
wants to do. Nobody knows what this team's plan is. Nobody knows what this team's fucking blueprint is. None of us knows. The only people that know are the people that are there. Stop talking like you do because you don't. Because none of us know. None of us know anything.
Okay. So, Pest. So, follow me. Every single thing that I brought up in the 30 minutes on the chat with you, every time that I've made a point, you've tweaked some type of qualification of what we were talking about.
I haven't
so
tweaked.
You haven't actually discredited.
I haven't tweaked a single qualification.
You did a few times.
I have not tweaked a single
qualification. Yes, you did. It was competitive. It was winning.
Competitive is not losing a football game by 3 points. Competitive is winning enough games to
It's eye test, bro. It's eye test.
Eye test? What the fuck is an eye test? What the fuck is an eye test?
When you watch, bro, you can watch the fucking games. You can watch the film. You can play it back. You can see that in 100 plays in a football game that they weren't losing and getting by a play. It was a player.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you that we were maybe 10 plays away from having an above 500 record. I can agree with you. I've said that myself. But to sit here and say that one player, when it takes 22 people, 11 at a time to win a fucking football game. One person is the difference maker? No, man. That's not the way it works.
But it's not. That's actually exactly how it works. They're called difference makers. Bro. That's what you want on your roster is difference makers.
How many?
That's what you listen. I'm not telling you. Listen, bro. I'm not telling you that they would have been in the fucking Super Bowl. What I'm telling you is him being there takes one of those Wayne Gallman runs that he gets 8-12 yards and turns it into a touchdown. Nothing else changes in the entire game except that one single play, that one check down that goes for 60 yards that fucking turns into a field goal that would win a game. My point is the record doesn't reflect the talent level on the team. And if you're talking about one or two or three, four plays,
our offense is bad.
Changing the dynamic of a season. Say that they're all, listen, this is the NFL, man, and you can't deny that this is the case. There's 32 teams. There's 3 or 4 teams a year that fucking suck. There's 3 or 4 true elite teams. And then there's fucking 28 teams that's in the middle. That's a player or two here or there, means that they're either on the back pages getting made fun of or they're on the playoff runs. It's a couple of plays, and that's for the case for two and a half dozen teams in the league, with the exception of a handful of good and terrible teams. We're in the middle. We're in that middle, that swamp, quicksand of mediocrity, as some people like to say.
We're not in the fucking middle. We are towards the bottom. Still, we're towards
No, we're
the
not.
bottom.
Not anymore.
Bro,
not anymore.
Yes, we are.
Not, bro,
we
go
are towards the bottom.
And
we're going to be and here's the thing.
But we're not.
Here's the thing, John. Here's the thing. We are going to be towards the bottom until next season happens. Because we don't know what's going to happen next season.
Until September.
Yes. And I'll go as far as saying November. November is when we know if we're not at the bottom. But we're at the fucking bottom right now, bro. Like, that's just what it is. That's the reality of it.
We're not at the bottom. We're in the middle.
Bro,
we're in the middle. We're not at the bottom.
Bro,
the Jets are at the bottom. The fucking Jaguars, they're at the bottom.
Okay,
we're 85% of the way done with the fucking rebuild. So players who are under 26, 27, 28 years old, all going into their prime as a young team that was forged all together. The whole entire team they're all under 26, 27 years old. Leonard Williams down to this year's draft picks. The whole fucking team. You got a young foundation that's going to grow together to be a fucking NFL is, bro. This isn't fantasy. This is not fucking football fantasy. This isn't Madden. This isn't the NBA. It's a different sport. You know that. I don't have to tell you that shit.
I mean that's all well and fine, right? But you ain't concerned about the Cowboys. You ain't concerned about the Cowboys if they keep Dak Prescott. No. They're in a position to take a monster in the draft. You're not concerned with them. You're not concerned with Washington doing some kind of crazy ass move and finding their fucking because the Washington football team is a quarterback away. The Washington football team is a quarterback away. A quarterback away.
Dude, there's been teams that have been a quarterback away who've needed a quarterback for 50 years. To just say, oh, they're quarterback away, all they got to do is flip the switch and they got their guy. Teams spend decades. They go through regime after regime after regime trying to find that guy, right? Just because they need it, just because it's obvious for 80% of the teams in the NFL. So you're just saying something that's what? What do you point? I can't see what you're pointing at.
I'm pointing at you, man.
I can't see what you're pointing at.
I'm pointing at you. I'm pointing directly at you. I'm looking at the camera and I'm pointing at you because I don't understand
Dallas.
I don't understand how you can't look at these other teams in this division and not say, man, I'm a little concerned about the direction they headed in because they look like they headed in a good ass direction. And I don't know if we're headed in a good direction.
I'm fine with that. I think the Giants are going in a great direction.
Well, listen.
I think they're going in a great direction.
I'm
more fine with the Giants being an 11-win team and the other teams being 9-8-win teams.
I don't feel rather like than this being team is bad. Let me make some things clear because John ain't never watched a single one of my fucking videos. John thinks that I'm one of these guys.
Yes, I have.
That's the sky is falling motherfucker. When I'm not that guy.
No, I don't.
I'm not the sky is falling.
You were educated in Fisk last week, bro.
I'm happy with.
You were educated in Fisk. I saw you.
Listen, I'm happy with the direction of this team. Okay, but I'm also a realist. Okay. Right? I'm not too high and I'm not too low on this team. I'm just telling you what's out in front of you, okay? The fact of the matter is this. Offensively, our wide receiver core is fucking bad. We got a tight end who's never been
We're a piece away.
We got a tight end who's never been a sure catcher. Not since he's fucking been here. No. Never. He's never had a year where it was like
thank you, Jerry Reese.
Everything I'm gonna catch that ball. It's every time for 4 fucking years now, every time someone's throwing the ball at Evan Ingram, our butthole puckers a little bit. Okay? So this dude ain't all that good. We're just at a position. Right. We're just at a position where I can kind of trust our offensive line. Kinda. Like not all the way, but kinda. Because they started off fucking terrible.
They're good run blockers.
They started off fucking terrible. They were terrible at run blocking for like the first 6 games. Yeah, terrible at run blocking.
Pest.
And I will relate to the fact that they did all that without having an OTA and a preseason and training camp. I got it.
Exactly.
I was the main one. I was the main one that said the first 4 games of this year are going to be sloppy. I was the main one saying that. I got it. I get it. Okay, I get it. But the fact of the matter is that I'm just at a point where I trust our offensive line to not get our quarterback killed. I don't think our quarterback's going to have a million years in the pocket, but I'm just at the point where I kind of trust this offensive line to not get our quarterback killed. But we need a lot more. Okay. We need a lot more than Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is a beast. He is an animal. He can be. I won't say he is a game changer, but he can be a game changer. But we are more than a Saquon Barkley away from having a good offense right now, John. Way more.
Well, the good thing is this. So the good thing is this. I'm talking about the Giants next season in the context of after the offseason. And what I believe that the Giants are going to do this offseason is get extra talent around, not only win games, but also make themselves look right. So I think they are going to go get that wide receiver in the draft, Waddle, Smith, whoever it's going to be. If they end up signing a free agent, I think you're going to end up going to next year with a legitimate wide receiver 1. Then you have Slayton as your wide receiver 2, Shep in the Ingram. Okay, sure. He's your 5th option. Maybe you work Caden Smith a little more into the offense. And you have Saquon Barkley and then Daniel Jones. And an offensive line that you just said you're getting a little bit more comfortable with going forward. An offensive line that was run blocking very, very well for a fraction of the talent in Wayne Gallman. Imagine what Saquon can do just in that part by itself. If Saquon
stops dancing around behind a lot of scrimmage, sure.
Can I say something about that? Can I say something about that? Why everybody think that this guy is just sitting there as some type of ballerina? The only reason why you're is because as soon as you're grabbing the ball, there's people who are behind the line of scrimmage instantaneously. He had the least amount of time in the backfield of any running back in football in 18 and 19 or whatever the metrics are. I'm not going to pretend to know off the top of my head, but I remember listening to podcasts, listening to analysts talking about Pro Football Focus bullshit, whatever, saying that he had the least amount of time in the backfield. So the reason why is you have an offensive line now that's going to open holes, bro. Some of those holes that Wayne Gallman was running through, you could drive a car through. Could you imagine a guy who automatically makes the first man miss almost always, maybe even the second and third man miss? Those runs aren't going for 3, 4, 5 yards. Oh, great. You really tried hard. You broke a tackle and went down and you pushed forward for an extra 2 yards. I'm talking about 60-yard fucking gains, bro. That's the difference between Saquon Barkley. But not only that, if you add that wide receiver one, now you have the secondary focusing on a guy there. Slayton and Shepard almost on one-on-one coverage almost always. Tell me how that's not an awesome offense. That's not not an awesome offense. Tell me why there's a reason for Giants fans not to be excited about what that potential is going to look like come September.
Because that shit sounds good on paper.
Saquon back.
That shit sounds good on paper, but it's going to be good in practice. And that's the thing that we don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say Saquon going to be back. We going to be monsters because that might not be the case. We don't know. I don't talk in maybes, John. I don't talk in maybes.
No, there's no maybe. There's no maybe. Bro, what maybe is there?
Bro, who the fuck
knows?
What
was there? I'm not saying about them being first. What?
Who knows?
You think that John Mara is going to allow his team, his franchise, to go into the offseason and not do every possible thing to get that wide receiver?
I mean,
whatever the top. Whatever the top receiver is.
Sure.
That's not franchise.
But you're also talking like Saquon gonna come back 100%, and we don't know if that's gonna be the case. We don't know how long it's gonna take Saquon to get his legs up underneath him. Like this.
We don't need Saquon to be 100%. We need Saquon to be 80%.
Oh, so he can go out there and get hurt again.
You get. No, listen. If he's in a position where he's not healthy enough to play, then you don't play him. And if it means that he's got to wait till Thanksgiving to come back, fine. It is what it is. You have to make do. That's football. This is the NFL. If you don't want to watch sport, then watch golf. Not you, but just for somebody in general. It's part of football.
Listen. Again, my whole point is this. Okay, I've never thought we were a Saquon Barkley away from winning this division. Okay, I understand that we were competitive in games last season, right? But that's not the competitive I'm looking for. I'm looking for being competitive.
No one is.
I'm looking for being competitive in regards to winning the division or making the playoffs. I will not count last season as us being competitive because we was in the running when everybody around us was trash. Trash.
I'm not talking about the record. The record could be 10-6. We still lose. We still don't make the playoffs. It's all the same.
Listen,
that doesn't matter. I'm talking about what's on the field.
If we ended up 10-6, let me tell you this: if we ended up 10-6 last season, right? But the Washington football team won 12 games and we didn't win a division and we wasn't able to get in the playoffs, I'd probably be speaking a lot differently. I'd be like, all right, well, you know what? Hey, we won 10 games.
Of course.
Okay, you know we won 10 games. We won fucking 6. Okay, we won 6. By the grace of God, did we win 6?
But we already discussed. No, that's not true.
By the grace of
by the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
By the lack of a grace of God, we could have been 10-6 this season. Literally, you talk about 4 plays. You can literally identify 4 plays.
Bro, by the grace of God, we won 6 games.
That's not true.
Oh,
that's not true. It's just simply not true.
So you mean to tell me that Seattle Seahawks game, was the Giants being really good and not the Seahawks just being bad? That on that day. That's what you're saying? That's what you're saying right now? Is that Seattle Seahawks game?
Of course, Seahawks did not show up to that game.
That Seattle Seahawks game was more of the Seattle Seahawks being bad that game and than the Giants being good that game. We won that game by the grace of God.
Right, but no, we didn't. We outplayed them. We showed up to the fight and we outfought them. You don't just say, "Oh, you know what? They didn't come 100%, so that's why we just skinned our teeth." That's not the truth. They played excellent in that game. Their defense was ferocious. They were all over the place. Bradbury had their receivers locked down.
That's true, but the Seattle Seahawks also played really bad.
Okay, so
Seattle Seahawks played really bad.
4 interceptions. No, their offensive line is a bad offensive line, and they were exposed. That's all that happened in that game. The Seahawks don't have a good offensive line. Russell Wilson has been talking about it.
That didn't stop them from winning. That didn't stop them from beating other teams. That didn't stop them from beating other teams.
Yeah, exactly. Because they went to those games. They went thinking that they needed to get up for them. They went into the Giants game thinking we can show up 80%, roll our helmets out there, and we can win this game. The Giants punched them in the mouth.
That's by the
grace of God. Which is what Joe Judge promised us.
That's
not the grace of God, bro. That's fucking
bro. That game,
it's not.
That Seattle Seahawks team could have been so different because we ain't gonna sit here and act like that Seattle Seahawks defense ain't a problem.
Every game you can say that for.
We're not gonna sit here and pretend that the Seattle Seahawks
game
defense
you can say that for, bro.
We're not gonna sit here and pretend like we were not scared out of our fucking minds during that game. You're not gonna sit up here and tell me you weren't scared of that game. We were scared of that game. Scared as shit.
Everybody was jumping up and down, bro.
I'm just saying, man.
Giants Nation flipped upside that weekend because it was the 4th win in a row, and we had our backup quarterback playing.
We're not gonna sit here and put this Giants team on a pedestal when they don't deserve to be on no fucking pedestal. We're not gonna give the New York Football Giants moral victories because they only lost by 3 against good teams. That's not what we're gonna do here. That's not what we're gonna do here.
Doing. That's not what we're talking about. The state of the team. We're talking about what to look forward to in 2021.
Team. Listen, the Big Tuna, Bill Parcells said, "You are what your record says you are," and what our record says we are is a
when you're a
6-win
finished
team.
product.
Our record right now says that we are a 6-win team.
Using Sunday, but that right now we're a 6-win team. Okay, fine. You want to say we're a 6-win team in 2021? With all of moves, this team can be outstanding.
Outstanding? You're going to go that far?
Outstanding.
You're going to go that far and say that this team can be outstanding? Well, listen, from your lips to God's ears, because I would love for this team to be outstanding.
Let me lay out a scenario for you then. Let me lay out a scenario for you. We keep our defense intact, okay? We get Dalvin back. We get Leonard Williams back. Logan Ryan's obviously part of the team. Right? We just next year having either drafted. I'm talking about a second tier player. I'm not talking about somebody elite. I'm talking about like a B level player. Okay, if we get somebody at either one of these 2 positions, pass rusher or cornerback 2. All right, we get a B level player. Now you got James Bradbury, who I think we can say is at the very least an A-, good safety tandem, or really whatever you want to call it. 3 people with McKinney going into his 2nd year, right? So you have good safeties, you have a good cornerback 1, you have a C+, B- cornerback 2, you have Blake Martinez, give him whatever grade you want. You have now, hopefully you can get a C+, B- edge rusher, and Lorenzo Carter coming back and Rashaan Simmons coming back, going into their 3rd or 4th year, whatever it's going to be. So that's your defense. You're going to tell me that they were the 9th best defense this season. They can't be at least the 8th best defense next year, or at least stay stagnant, be the ninth best defense?
The concern is not the defense.
You're not even investing anything.
The concern is not the defense if we can keep this defense
my point
together.
Is not finished yet.
The concern is the offense. The concern for me has always been the offense.
Exactly.
From day one. What are we doing to fix the offense?
Let me finish my point then.
Go ahead.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. With minimal effort, we can keep the defense at a status quo position, being an outstanding defense. Okay, then You go in, you find that wide receiver one. All right? You find a way to address right tackle, whether that's going to be with Pick and getting Sewell, whoever the other guy is. I forget his name off the top man right now. You address the right tackle position. I promise you, Zeitler's not going anywhere. You have Nick Gates going into his second year at the position.
I'm good with Nick Gates
Will
being
Hernandez or Lemieux going to compete. Bro, Nick Gates played awesome.
I'm good with
to go
I'm
from
good
not
with
being
Nick
able
Gates.
to play the position at all. Nick Gates going into his second year at the position. Okay, then at left guard you have either Hernandez, who's hopefully healthier from COVID, battling for the left guard position, and then you have the left tackle in Andrew Thomas going into his second year.
I think it's going to be Will
played
Hernandez.
Excellent.
I think it's going to be Will Hernandez.
I think it's going to be Will Hernandez.
I think the reason why Will Hernandez didn't play as much is because of COVID. He was never fully healthy after he had COVID. I don't think it was because he couldn't play or he was bad. I think it had more to do with, okay, COVID fucked you up. We're not going to force you. We got an opportunity to see what Shane Lemieux can do, and we're going to take advantage of this opportunity. So I think it's going to be Will Hernandez.
So
go ahead.
Okay, so you have an offensive line that, for the most part, is going into their second year altogether, except for the right tackle spot. All right, Ingram, he's going to be playing for a contract. He's in the last year of his rookie deal. I'm not saying this guy's going to do anything good, bad, whatever. Let's just say he does exactly the same thing he does last year, 700 yards, 600 yards, and just cuts down on those crippling plays. All you got to do is get the wide receiver one. You need one move on offense, two moves on offense for starters, and you need or two on defense. That's all you need. You're talking about 4 spots, bro. And then you have plus talent at every single one of the starting 22 positions. Tell me why we can't go from, all right, the 31st ranked offense. Okay, I'll get into that in a second. Let's just say we're a bottom tier offense last year. You're going to tell me by getting a wide receiver one and with Saquon Barkley coming back, the improvement of the offensive line and Daniel Jones, that we can't be the 15th best offense, 16th best offense. Let's be optimistic and say the 10th best offense. It's possible.
Listen,
to be the 10th best. It could be. Listen, if we're the 15th best offense.
That depends on
and then 10th best defense.
That depends on something very important. That depends on Daniel fucking Jones. Okay? That's what that depends on. It depends on Daniel Jones. All right. Who by the way, I'm not on a Daniel Jones train, but I'm not off Daniel Jones at all. All right. I'm following him from station to station. I'm not riding on that fucking train now. So it's going to depend on Daniel Jones. I still don't quite know if putting Saquon Barkley in the mix is going to be the difference maker. I do think that Saquon Barkley can be a difference maker. Okay, and so you're not going to get an argument from me about Saquon Barkley being a part of this team. See, the reason why this all started in the first place was because I said we get Quentin Nelson instead, and you laughed at me. But to be completely honest,
right. So you got to understand
the best offensive line. If you have the best offensive line, it doesn't fucking matter who your running back is. It doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter. It could be anybody.
Right, but. It could be anybody, but imagine having somebody special.
That's
nice. Think back to Adrian Peterson in his prime.
That's nice.
Think back to LaDainian Thomas in his prime.
That's
bro,
nice.
It's tremendous, bro.
That's
nice. Tremendous. No, it's not. It's not having a Mustang. It's having a fucking Ferrari.
You just named two of the greatest running backs. Not the greatest of all time, because there were other good ones, so they fall in line. But you're talking about two of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation.
15.
You're talking about two of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation, and neither one of them won a championship. Neither fucking one of them. Neither one of them won a championship,
bro. That's happenstance,
bro.
That's just happenstance.
Neither one of them won a championship.
That's happenstance. They were on bad teams. They were on bad.
What?
Bro, the Vikings are always fucking bad. The Vikings are always bad, are they not?
What? The Chargers
have been bad forever.
The Chargers were in the playoffs every fucking year. Now they lost. They were one and done a lot.
Damian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers.
They were one and done a lot. But LaDainian Tomlinson was not the difference between them winning a championship or not winning a championship, because he was fucking there.
No, it's a team game. That's what I've been trying to tell you. That's what I'm saying. It's a team game.
Chad, I would just like
it's
the Chad, I would like to let it be known. I would like to let it be known that earlier in this conversation, John made it his point to say that Saquon Barkley can be the difference between us winning and losing games. But now 55 minutes later, it's a team game. I do specifically remember saying that it takes 22 men, 11 at a time to fucking win. But now,
of course. But what my point is Saquon is a difference maker. I'm saying that Saquon Barkley could take this team to incredible heights. I'm saying if everything else around him is average, if everything around him is good, we're special. That's my point. That's the whole point of this.
Because that worked for LaDainian Tomlinson. That worked for that.
But you're talking about bad franchises. You're not talking about the Giants, bro. We're talking about Chargers. You're not talking about fucking bad teams.
I'm sorry. Have the Giants been a bad team for like the last 10 years? I'm just maybe are you on drugs or am I on drugs? Have the Giants not been a bad organization for like 10 years?
For 10 years. We're talking about 50 years. I'm talking about these teams in their entire fucking existence. We're talking about two separate things.
The Chargers were not a bad organization. The Chargers were not a bad organization. I used to live in San Diego, so I followed the Chargers. I followed the Chargers when Damian Tomlinson was there. That was not a bad organization. They did Drew Brees bad. I will say that they did Drew Brees bad, right?
Agreed.
And Eli Manning didn't want to play there, right, because he wasn't going to be the starter. But that didn't necessarily mean that the Chargers were a bad run organization. That Charger team was always competitive, always highly competitive.
Okay. So what you're saying is you can be really good, but just not have the luck to actually win a championship. So you can say the same exact thing about Adrian Peterson and LaDainian Tomlinson. You could be really, really good, but just by happenstance, you don't end up winning the big game.
I mean,
because only one team a year wins it.
And
you got to also consider through both of those careers. Hold on, Pat.
Go ahead.
Pat, hold on one sec. All right. During their entire careers, you had the Patriots winning almost every single year. You had the best dynasty in American sports history to go up against the entire time. No teams were good enough to compete with that. So that's why you're not going to be able to get the championships on those legacies. What if Belichick never had Tom Brady? What if Belichick just never fucking existed? How do you know that in that circumstance that they don't get it? What I'm saying is that it's happenstance, that they don't have those Super Bowl rings. But it doesn't mean that they're not in the Hall of Fame. And it doesn't single team in the NFL would rather have them than not. And all we had to do is take a second overall pick to get him. And we have. And we have him for the next fucking 10 years. And
hey, listen,
we can just be excited that we have a Hall of Fame player that may, because that's what it's all about, may win us a Super Bowl or more.
Listen, I'm not one of these guys that complain about picking Saquon at 2. I see it all the time. In fact, I'm the guy that's always arguing with them because I'm always like, yo, can we just fucking move on? He's on the team. There's nothing we can do about it. He's fucking really good. Let's just move on with our lives. Like, that's who I am. I'm not mad about having Saquon.
Good.
I just think the pick was wrong. I think it was a mistake to pick a running back at 2, even though it was Saquon Barkley. Even though, and let me let you know this. When we drafted Saquon, I ran around in a circle in my office because I was excited. I was excited about him. And then after the excitement wore down, I sat down and I went, damn, but I still would have wanted Quentin Nelson. Okay. Because he was the best. He's
2 points to me.
He's probably one of the best guard prospects I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and Saquon Barkley is one of the best offensive weapon prospects you've ever seen in your life too. So that's the point I want to make. Would you agree or disagree with the statement that we can, in a sense, invent a new title for a position and call it an XB instead of an RB. Instead of running back, call him a dynamic.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been
so hold on a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great stream, man. But John been drinking too. He up in the mountains. He drunk as shit at this point. This motherfucker want to make up new fucking positions and shit.
But listen, I'm just saying. All I'm doing here.
Shit,
listen,
man. We've gone off the
my
fucking
point
rails.
is this. No. Let me make this point because there's people out here who probably want to hear this, or at least maybe should hear this. All right. Would you say that he can, to an elite level, impact in the passing game, catching the ball? Is he not a plus receiver? Is he not a plus route runner? Is he not a plus guy in the? Can you tell me that he's not?
Sure, he is.
He's not at least a wide receiver 2 on most teams.
No,
Okay,
he's not,
so
no,
now you have a player
he's
that
not
can
a wide
not.
receiver. I'm not lining Saquon Barkley up at wide receiver unless we're doing a 5-wide set. I'm not lining him up at fucking wide receiver. No.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is in the scale of production, he can get you 600, 700 yards receiving, get you 4 or 5 touchdowns in the receiving game. Okay. You get 600 or 700 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's a wide receiver's 2's number. Okay, so he can do that while still rushing for 1,500 yards, scoring. So you almost have 2 players in one with the production at 2 separate positions out of. Even if you pay him 20, you're talking about a $10 million running back with one guy, right? So you have that point. Then what I was saying before, I wanted to go back to that with when you look at the prism of, okay, we draft an elite level running back. He's going to be on the team for the next 6 or 7 years. We know within that period, the next year, 2 or 3, we're going to be looking to draft a quarterback and breaking him into the league in New York. That he's not only a running back, but he's also a wide receiver. You have that fact. Then you have the fact of them knowing that they're going to be breaking a rookie into New York as the starting quarterback to fill in for Eli Manning, basically NFL royalty, filling in those shoes in New York. So you're not official to have a superior rushing game. You're going to tell me Dak Prescott didn't benefit by Ezekiel Elliott being there with that offensive line? He did. He absolutely did. So why wouldn't that same rule apply for the Giants? So why is it such a bad pick to take one guy, not trade up and trade 2-3 first-round picks for him like people want to do? None of that. I'm talking about you're sitting there at 2 because you had a blowjob season in 2017, and you got a god-level athlete on your team for the cost of 1 draft pick.
Because
it helps you in both.
Because back
facets
to
of the game, your young quarterback.
Because back to my original point, at the time we didn't have a fucking offensive line. When the Cowboys got Ezekiel Elliott, they had a god squad at offensive line. They had a god squad. They were in a position to pick.
Thank Jerry Reese for that.
They were in a position to pick a running back because they had everything else they needed around that running back. We picked a running back with nothing around him. No offensive line, barely any wide receivers at the time. We really only had Odell Beckham.
We had Odell Beckham.
We really only had Odell
Beckham. We had Evan Ingram. We had Sterling Shepard. That's ridiculous to say.
Because Victor Cruz was on his way out the door, right? And Sterling Shepard, although I like Sterling Shepard, he wasn't putting up crazy big super stupid fucking numbers. Okay, he wasn't.
He was putting up wide receiver 2 numbers.
Evan Ingram was
He's a wide receiver 2.
Evan Ingram was an injury problem at the time, okay? Because now because thankfully Evan Ingram played a full season, but now he's got a fucking hands problem. But Evan Ingram at the time was an injury problem.
It would have been better for him to get injured this season.
We had no offensive line, and Eli Manning was fucking washed. But we picked a running back.
Eli Manning
with that around him, bro.
But that's not. But what around him, bro? What around him? You have Odell Beckham. You have Evan Ingram, who was in the league for 1 year. He was in the league for 1 year. You're going to tell me that they said, okay, we get a decent coaching staff in here with just natural progression of a football player, like every football player almost ever that gets drafted, they get better as they go into their careers. Year 2, year 3, most important year in the NFL player's career. Year 4, year 5, they get better as they go. You don't reach your prime until you're in year 4, year 5 for most positions. year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7 is the prime years for athletes. So you can't have guys come. You follow what I'm saying? Like, it's not it. You can't say there's nothing around. You can't say there's nothing around them. You had Odell, Ingram getting better, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard. Like, you can't say there's nothing there.
Bro. There was nothing there from a standpoint of the offensive line, because the offensive line was bad.
That's because that's also not true.
That year was the death of Eli. Be quiet as kept. That year was the fucking death of Eli. That year,
because
Eli got his
the Nate
ass
Solder signing.
kicked. Eli got his ass kicked every single week and had no confidence in his fucking offensive line. So, yeah, it was nice that we had Odell Beckham. It was nice that we had Saquon Barkley. That was nice, right? It was nice that we had Evan Ingram, even though Evan Ingram is a piece of shit, all right? I can say that now in hindsight, but even then I was like, man, I don't know about this Evan Ingram motherfucker, man. First of all, this dude never stay on the damn field.
Yeah, because he was a Jerry Reese draft pick.
Motherfucker never stay on the field.
And every single Jerry.
So the fact of the matter,
like every other person that Jerry Reese drafted.
The fact of the matter is this. Admittedly, right? Dave Gettleman, John Mara, they made a mistake. They admitted it. They admitted it this year, right?
But
hey,
they did not admit that. No.
They did.
They
said there were some miscalculations.
No, they didn't.
In
they
2018.
They said they miscalculated. Exactly. They said that they wanted to try to compete for a championship, and they went fucking 6-10 or 5-11. Right. They said there was miscalculation. Yeah. The miscalculation wasn't drafting Saquon Barkley. The miscalculation.
The miscalculation was the way they approached building that team. Every single aspect of that fucking team. That was the miscalculation. It wasn't just one pick.
Why was that miscalculation?
Draft. It was the entire free agency. It was the entire fucking approach.
What do you mean?
It was the hiring of fucking coaches.
That's so ridiculous.
Bro, did they win? Ridiculous. Did they fucking win, John? John, did they do anything of note?
Bro, they had a bad coach.
Did they do anything of note, John? Did they do anything of note, John? Yes or no?
Anything of note? That's not the same thing.
Oh my God!
That's not the same thing. So
you're gonna just continue to move the goalpost. Because if you're gonna continue to move the goalpost,
I'm not moving any goalpost.
There's nothing that I can fucking say here. Either they were successful in their approach or they weren't. And they weren't.
But no, the point of the matter was that you said that they said that they made a mistake by drafting Saquon. I'm saying that wasn't what they said.
They made a mistake in the entire approach to building that team in 2018. The entire fucking approach was wrong.
What else could they have done?
What?
How was it wrong? What could they else have done? Take a quarterback they didn't believe in, the second overall pick?
No.
Pick a guard?
No, take the guard.
Like, that's your whole
the best guard
thing
in
now.
Football. Take the best guard
but in then you would need still a second guard.
Wait a minute, and start the rebuild. Take the best.
You don't start a rebuild with a guard.
You start a rebuild.
You don't start a rebuild with a guard.
You start a rebuild,
that's not a rebuild
with the trenches, brother. That is the most important part of a football team. Period. Don't believe me? Ask Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs were a cheat code all fucking year long until their offensive line went to shit.
Yep.
If you're going to rebuild a team, you start from the inside out. So if you can get your hands on the best guard and build from that guard outside on your team, that's what the fuck you do. You don't pick a running back. You don't pick fucking you don't pick a running back until you have people to fucking block for them.
Okay,
and you know what?
So
And I'm gonna wait a minute, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm going to admit this, right? Because I would watch Saquon Barkley on another team killing it, and I would say, damn, it would have been nice to have Saquon, but it sure is fucking nice to have Quentin Nelson.
It's nice to have Quentin Nelson.
You start the rebuild in 2018, and you don't start a rebuild with a running back. You fucking don't. It's never been done before. No team looks at their offense, says, we're pretty fucking bad. Let's get a running back. No team does that. No team. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen.
But you're saying running back when you should be saying dynamic back.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It does matter.
You don't draft a running back when you have nothing else. Bro, hey, yo, listen, y'all. There's nothing I'm going to be able to tell John. There's nothing I'm going to be able to tell John to get him off of this hill that picking Saquon Barkley might have been a mistake. It might have been a mistake. Even though there's a million logical reasons to do it. Even though the fact of the matter is that every year since we've had Saquon Barkley, we've had a fucking losing record, y'all. Every fucking year.
2 years.
You know what team is looking pretty fucking good right now? The Indianapolis Colts, who decided we need offensive linemen. And that's where their focus went to, was offensive linemen.
Okay. So did Dave Gettleman not go and get the best free agent left tackle in the NFL?
Bro.
Did he not use a second overall? Did he not use a second round pick on a guard?
He should.
Did he not want to keep for Will Hernandez?
Bro.
Literally, they already said it. He tried this.
Bro.
He couldn't find a trade partner, and he ended up falling to him anyways. So you went out and you got other fucking offensive linemen. We got Patrick Omameh. Okay, you can't sign the best fucking possible players. You have to look at a rebuild and say, this is a 3, 4, 5 year process, really 3 or 4 years. We have these draft picks. We have this currency in the draft, and I have to plug holes with the best. I can't do this in 1 year. It's going to take a couple of years to do. Saquon Barkley's shelf life is not 2 years. It's 10 years. That's why you keep saying you don't start a rebuild with a fucking running back.
You hope.
That's rebuild. You're talking about a league. You're talking about a league that's literally designed for parity.
You hope Saquon Barkley's shelf life is 10 years, John. You hope Saquon Barkley. You hope.
Bro. That's what players are.
You hope.
That's what. But okay, but by that standard, you could say that about any position. You could say that about any position. Then why would you ever draft anybody ever? Why wouldn't you just make your team up of undrafted free agents? If they suck, you just get rid of them instead of paying these guys crazy amount of money and using your first round draft picks. Second, why wouldn't you just go ahead, trade all those picks away, take 20 guys in this? That way, it's easy to swallow if they get hurt or whatever the case is.
Listen,
they suck. That's not it. You're looking at rebuilds over. You want to get the best players when the opportunity comes to get them. It's not about, okay, you don't shop like that. That's just not how it goes. For a few years. And they thought if we draft Saquon Barkley in 2018, if we can try to make from now to 2, 3 years, 4 years from now, but then say his prime, okay. Sorry, my dog's barking. I apologize. You have Saquon Barkley now going into an offensive line that they took 3, 4 off seasons to build, a completely different roster. You're talking about being able to shape them for what you're looking for. That's a rebuild. You're not talking about a modular home. You're trying to build a mansion. You're not growing a field of fucking sequoia. You understand what I'm saying? This isn't like instantaneous. You're really saying, okay, if I don't win by 2019, this was a waste. That's not the case. If you don't win by 2026, because that's his shelf life. That's what you're looking for. And you don't think that they thought our hands on the team in 2018 and give me 2, 3, 4 off seasons, watch what I could do. Look what I did in Carolina. When I went there and I had 3 players that I had there, I was able to flush out that entire roster, make them a 15-1 juggernaut that went to the Super Bowl. Let's just fucking take our time here and do this the right way. Let's get rid of these expensive non-team guys like JPP, like Odell Beckham, all these fucking clowns. You don't look at it from – and if you did want to look at it at 3 years, you can't tell me in good conscience as a person who wants to fancy himself a knowledgeable football player, a football guy, and tell me that if Saquon Barkley was on the team this year, they don't win at least 2 more games, just 2, be an 8-8 team, be respectable by all accountable measures, and this conversation is not fucking happening. If Saquon's healthy this year, or if Saquon gets hurt in week 12, what if we had him for 12 weeks? What if? What does it look like then? What if COVID didn't happen? What if Will Hernandez never got COVID? What if they had an offseason to actually play?
These are a lot of.
But that's what I'm saying.
And
you're talking about
And
context.
we can what if.
You're talking about context, saying that it was a bad pick. What I'm saying, a million different outcomes, a million different ways why this was and always will be a smart pick until he's gone and we got nothing for him. Even if he plays out his rookie contract, leaves in free agency, goes somewhere else, and we get a 3rd-round compensatory pick. Even then, not really that bad of a fucking investment. As long as you can now take the rest of your offseason moves in not only 18, in 19, 20, 21, and into the future to make this roster better. Make smart decisions like getting a cornerback that actually plays, that keeps his fucking mouth shut, like James Bradbury, like getting a tackling machine, like a pick that you would get back in the compensatory formula that you would get back anyways, right? For Leonard Williams and getting a guy in here, then Leonard Williams who goes ahead, ball coach in here, and the dude goes off for 11.5 sacks, right? Drafting Dexter Lawrence, who looks like he's going to be a monster, right? Filling out the back end, getting Jabril Peppers. How great did Jabril look? How smart was the Logan Ryan move? You're talking about a lot of different moves, and you're talking about in one shot, you had Saquon Barkley there. This team wins 2 more games, likely even 4 more games. And now we're talking about a 10-6 team in 2020, and we're definitely not having this conversation, right?
So here's the deal, John. Because we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk in circles for eternity, right? But I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I'm glad that we had this conversation.
But I'm not gonna do that. This is what I'm gonna say. And this is how I'm gonna close this conversation out, okay? Again, I'm not mad that Saquon Barkley is on his team. I own his football jersey. Like one of the first things I bought was a Saquon Barkley jersey. I'm glad Saquon's on his team. I'm not crying about the fact that Saquon's on his team. I'm not crying about the fact that we spent a number 2 pick on a running back, okay? At the time I didn't agree with it. And that's what I go off of, is the fact that at the time, though I was happy that we had him, because I was, after the excitement subsided, I said, damn, we could have had Quentin Williams. We could have
Quentin Nelson.
I'm sorry, Quentin Williams. Quentin Nelson. We could have had Quentin Nelson. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Nelson gonna be a fucking beast in this league. Damn. That's what I said. Yeah. But I was like, but you know what? Saquon's a monster. Saquon can do it all. I hope we can fucking put something around this dude, because he ain't gonna be doing shit until we get a better offensive line. And I knew.
All right, can I ask you this question?
Yeah, what's up?
Can I ask you this question? All right, say we did get Quentin Nelson, right? We before we got Quentin Nelson, we got Nate Solder. Before we got Quentin Nelson, we had Patrick Omameh, and those were going to be your players at the left and right side of him.
Okay.
Would Quentin Nelson be Quentin Nelson on the Giants?
Quentin Nelson is going to be Quentin Nelson no matter where he goes, because Quentin Nelson had all the tools. Quentin Nelson is
but that's not offensive line, though.
Quentin Nelson is the best guard prospect I have ever seen in my life, and I've watched. I believe you. I am a defensive line coach. Okay, I've predominantly been a defensive line coach. I've been a defensive coordinator a couple of times. I prefer coaching up linemen. He is one of the best prospects I had ever seen in my fucking life. It didn't matter where Quentin Nelson went. He was going to be a monster because he had all the tools. He was pro ready.
What would it have done?
Plug and play. He would have still been a beast.
Okay, can I ask you a question on that? He could be a beast, but where would the Giants be? And if the whole point of not drafting Saquon Barkley is because where the Giants are, You can't tell me that if we would have drafted Quentin Nelson, that we would be a more advanced football team than we are right this second. You just couldn't say it. We wouldn't have won more games. We would have probably won less games. So if the value of the pick is based off of the ensuing record over the next 2 or 3 years, the record would have likely been worse with him than had we had Saquon Barkley. So you would be saying the exact same thing.
I mean, we'd be saying the same thing if Saquon Barkley went to another team. Would Saquon Barkley be Saquon Barkley on the Colts? Probably. But
yeah.
we're talking about
we're
talking about two really good fucking players. We're talking about two really good players here.
Yeah, you're talking about having a fucking Range Rover Sport or a fucking Ferrari.
I believe that having the linemen would have been better for us today. Right now. Today. We would have been able to build a better offensive line around Quentin Nelson. If you give me Andrew Thomas sitting next to Quentin Nelson, and I'll take Nick Gates, right? And maybe we don't get Will Hernandez because we took Quentin Nelson. You know, Will Hernandez is going to go somewhere else, so we may not have him. But maybe we got Shane Lemieux, right? And maybe we got Matt Parrott. Man, that's a pretty fucking good offensive line, man. That's a pretty good offensive line. We've got potentially the best guard sitting next to a really fucking good tackle, so the left side of our line is solidified for years. For fucking years. 10, 15 years. Now, we're hoping Saquon Barkley's shelf life is 10 years. But typically, barring serious injury, right? Offensive linemen tend to have a longer shelf life than running backs. They tend to.
Sure.
Barring serious injury.
But offensive linemen, for their impact to truly be felt, they have to have 5 or 4 partners with them that work in unison.
True.
With Saquon Barkley, he doesn't need any single human being to have any effect for him to be an explosive player. And I'm not saying people all the time. What I'm saying is you don't have a good offensive line, which we did in 2018. You can dump it off to him right next to the fucking offensive lineman, and he can catch 91 balls for 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. So he's not as in his position to be as impactful on the field, to his presence to be felt. Quentin Nelson's going to get lost if you have booty hole all around him. Saquon Barkley can still impact the game. But I think at the end of the day, what we both want is after 3 or 4 off seasons that they have both an awesome offensive line and awesome skill position players. So whichever way you bought it,
that's all I want.
But that's what I'm saying. Whichever way you bought it, whether the blueprints were to build the first floor and then the second floor, or was to build the basement first and then do the first and second floor at the same time. Whatever the blueprints were, you want the house to be built well. And you know that the house isn't going to be built in one afternoon. You know that it's steps to the fucking thing, and you can only do certain things at certain times.
Okay.
And you try to take advantage of the situations the best.
I think we find that hill and we agree with that hill, because at the end of the day, right? I want to wear this fucking hat or the other hat that's up there that everybody is trying to steal from me. I want to wear that hat outside
and be fucking proud,
and somebody not be like, "Damn, you're damn. It's rough for you, huh?" I want to be able to. Yeah. I mean, and listen. I'm proud to be a fucking Giants fan. Don't get it twisted. I wear my Giants shit all the fucking time. I don't give a fuck if we suck or we don't suck. All right. I love this team.
Me too.
Right? Me too. Let me slide out the way. I got my backpack's covering it, but I got like Giants pillows and this fucking shit over here. I got this fucking some bitch right here. I told you I'm an Eli apologist. All right. I got all my fucking Giants shit. All right. I'm proud to be a fucking Giants fan.
Dude, we're the same. We're the same in that sense, man. That picture that you're seeing right now. That picture that you see right now, that's a signed Saquon Barkley jersey. It's in my office upstairs in my house. I have a third bedroom in my house. I don't have kids, so I took the whole room, It's painted with the official Giants colors. I got Saquon signed merchandise. I have shit from Daniel Jones, fucking from players, other fucking shit from the stadium. I have the whole room decked out for the Giants. We're the same in that sense. And I gotta be honest with you, man. This whole thing started out, I was arguing with another motherfucker. It wasn't arguing with you. You just happened to jump in the 8th round of a fucking boxing match.
Hey, and
So
listen,
that's
and
really
you
all that
and you
came
didn't
down to.
and you didn't realize that you found the right one because I'm here for the fucking smoke. You didn't realize that you found the right one, John.
I like to try to make jokes, bro. Yeah, listen, I try to make jokes, and I know that sometimes I say shit that's a little bit, people think I get a little bit.
You say jokes that are whack, John. Your jokes are whack as fuck. I fuck with you heavy,
that's
John.
Not true.
But your jokes are fucking whack. Those jokes are terrible.
No, bro.
Those jokes are terrible. Don't you ever in your fucking life disrespect my fucking championships, okay? Don't you ever in your fucking life disrespect I got rings, motherfucker. I got rings, okay? I've done this.
Listen, if it wasn't you, right? You were a fucking, I don't know, an accountant that never was never played football, nothing, right? If it wasn't you, you probably would have cracked a smile. I'm not saying you would have laughed. I'm not saying you would have shared it, retweeted. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying if it wasn't you, you would have been like, that's pretty funny.
I laugh at shit all the time on Twitter. Twitter is my favorite fucking app because it's fucking hilarious, okay? I see randos post shit that make me shed a tear laughing. But what you said, whack. That shit was whack. It was whack, John. You gotta work on your comedic timing, John.
You're not gonna bat 1,000.
You gotta work on your comedic timing, John.
Listen,
right?
You're not gonna bat 1,000.
You might want to watch a few episodes.
One was the best joke of all time.
You might want to watch some episodes of PTA Sports when I clown motherfuckers. You might want to watch a couple episodes. You might learn something from your boy. Okay. You might learn something from.
Listen, I do watch your channel. I do.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do, y'all.
Listen.
I hold on a second, John. I want to apologize to the chat, okay? I want to apologize to the chat because I had to fucking fist fight John today, okay, y'all? So I saw a lot of y'all, all right? Y'all know I'm typically when I'm live, I interact with the chat. I wanna have Discord with y'all. I want us to talk and have a good time. But it wasn't about y'all today. It's about beating up John, okay? I had to beat up fucking John, all right? John Depot. That's a stupid ass fucking last name. All right. Whoever gave you that fucking last name,
it's not my last name.
You should get. Oh, it's not. Well, that was a dumbass fucking choice for a last name, John Depot. Nobody wants to go to the fucking depot. Nobody wants to hang out at the depot. Okay. No one wants to hang out at the fucking depot.
You might actually. You don't know. You might actually.
Hey girl,
listen. People who do come to the depot.
What you doing tonight? I'm just chilling at the crib, doing nothing. Oh, I was wondering if you want to go to the depot. Hello? Nobody want to go to no fucking depot.
I'm trying to go to the Home Depot.
Nobody want to go to no fucking depot.
Let's do this together. That's all I'm saying. Let's do this together.
But listen. I just want to.
All right, can I make a shout out really quick though?
I'm gonna give you an opportunity. We're not gonna close out just yet. I just want to thank all of the people who were in the chat, man. Shout out to Authentic, man. I see you up in here, man. You know I rock with you heavy. Jay Berman is in the chat. He going ham. He's yelling at me. He's yelling at you. He's yelling at everybody. That's why I love Jay, because he'll fuck you all up, okay? I saw Giants Nation was up in here. Evan Spitzberg is up in here. What's going on with you, my guy? I saw CEO was up in here earlier. Fuck you, CEO. You sorry sack of shit. You're a fucking terrible human being. Tony Curry was up in here. Tony Curry, I told you to change your fucking profile pic. You didn't do it. You didn't listen. You're still looking foolish. I don't know what to do with you, Tony Curry, but I appreciate you being up in here. Joe Yaddo was up in. Joe Yaddo was up in the building. What's going on, Joe? How you doing, man? I appreciate you for being up in here. Who else? Max Webster was up in here. I don't know if he's still up in here. Max, I'm gonna be checking out your episode tomorrow, brother. Your fucking shit's fantastic. You already know that. We talk all the fucking time. What else we got? Who else? I don't want to miss nobody. Kush was in here, Word 21. Danny Thomas, okay, cool. Hey, man, listen, all y'all, man, y'all know I rock with y'all heavy. I love y'all, man. Y'all all make this channel what it is. I'm sorry I'm not giving y'all more time content, but I just don't feel like doing nothing. Like, I really don't feel like doing nothing. I'm not going to come out here and I'm not going to force no fucking content on y'all, man. So when I got stuff I want to talk about, I'll come up here, and if I don't feel like cutting the video, you know your boy gonna go live, man. That's just what it is. But I'm not your fucking source for Giants news, y'all. I'm not your source for Giants news. There's other YouTubers that do that. I'm not your source for the news. All right, I give you guys my reactions to Giant shit, and I talk to you guys about things that are going on. Thankfully, we're getting ready to get into that point of the year where Giants are going to make some fucking moves. They're going to sign some people, not sign some people, tag some people, maybe even trade a motherfucker. I don't know. And when that stuff starts happening, that's when I'm going to pop up and be like, hey, yo, check this shit out. All right. So listen, I appreciate y'all for still coming and rocking with me. You know, even though I'm not giving y'all a bunch of recorded content, I appreciate y'all coming here during my live streams. John, this is your opportunity, man. Plug what you want to plug, shout out who you want to shout out, and then get the fuck out! John!
All right, so if you can follow me on Twitter, it's JDepo at NYG Slap Parade. I'm on the Giants Brawl podcast with Mike Trainer and Jules. Give us a follow, give us a listen. If you like his content, you're gonna like our content. We kind of go over line a little bit. Lots of funny content, jokes, maybe even a little bit better than mine. Sometimes I disagree, but you know, everybody's got their opinion on that. But Giants Brawl podcast, give us a listen. Yeah, we'll get some merchandise out to you guys. Pest, thanks for having me on the channel, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, get your whole podcast crew. Tell them to bring their asses over here so we can all have a conversation. My channel was listen, John, my channel was everybody's channel. This is not my channel. This is our channel. So even if I don't fucking agree with what you got to say, this is still, I still share my platform with everybody, man, because I believe that this is a community. We don't all have to agree with each other. We don't all have to have the same opinions. You're free to feel like picking Saquon at 2 was the right move. I don't think you're less smart or less knowledgeable for that. I just don't agree, and that's okay. But yeah, tell your podcast crew, bring their ass over here. We all have a conversation, and make sure that
before I get out of here, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
All right. Do you feel like even 1% better about the pick after the points that I brought to you?
No,
about the impact it has on breaking in.
No,
quarterback.
What you say?
No, really? All right.
What you say is not gonna change my fucking mind about what I think about in the past, and especially because I'm not a guy.
Right now.
Especially because I'm not a guy that hates the fact that Saquon is here. I'm good with it. So there was really nothing that you were going to say. There was really nothing that you were going to say to change my mind today, John, because I'm not easily swayed by people's opinions. All right. I base my whole life around facts. Okay. What happened when it happened. I don't talk about things that happened in the future. I don't what if. I don't maybe, okay? That's why on my channel, you're not going to see me talking about draft prospects and who I think the Giants should draft, because I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I will tell you what I think about the people they draft when they draft them. I will tell you about the people that they sign in free agency when they sign them. I'm not going to speculate on nothing. I only deal in facts. So the fact of the matter is that Saquon has not yet brought a championship to this organization. If he is a part of it, then I'll be like, well, I'm glad Saquon was here to do that. If he doesn't, then I'm going to be like, I mean, did we really need him here? Because we didn't fucking win. That's what I'm going to say. That is what I'm going to say.
Would you say that about Dan Marino? Was he a mistake? I don't know about all that.
Dan Marino was not a mistake. Dan Marino was a great quarterback who was just unlucky as fuck. They didn't build around Dan Marino.
That applies to other players too.
It does.
That applies for other players too. But LaDainian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson. Thank you for making my point from earlier.
But the question that's asked is, did the Dolphins need Dan Marino? He didn't bring him a championship. He was great, but did they need him? He didn't bring him a championship.
I don't know.
Any,
I mean,
any,
they were
anyone,
better off without
anyone,
Dan Marino.
any quarterback,
I'm glad
any
I
quarterback,
put you into say that.
any
Dan
quarterback.
Marino wasn't worth
Wait a
having.
minute, any quarterback that was in Dan Marino's draft class that did not win a championship could have had the same results with the Miami Dolphins and not won a championship. Did they really need him? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, listen.
And that's
You're telling me that
and that's a
you didn't
lot
need
of
Dan Marino.
players.
You didn't need. I'll defer to you. If you're telling me as a football guy that a team doesn't need Dan Marino, then I guess
Did the Dolphins?
that's all that needs to be said.
Did the Dolphins
tonight,
need
guys.
Dan Marino to not win championships? They didn't. Dan Marino could have probably went somewhere else
No.
and won quite a few championships.
That's not the point.
But the Dolphins didn't do enough for Dan Marino. They didn't, because otherwise he would have fucking won. The same,
sure. That same thing could be applied
the
to
same thing
LaDainian
goes
Tomlinson and
for
Adrian
fucking
Peterson.
Barry Sanders and for LaDainian Tomlinson and for Adrian Peterson. That wasn't the team for you to win.
Well, I'm glad that
because
you're
they
on my
didn't have
side
enough
now.
for you to win.
I'm glad you're on my side now. Saquon Barkley wasn't a bad bet. Thank you.
No, that's not what I said, John.
Because it's not measured if you win a championship or not.
That's not what I said, John.
Well, you did.
That's not what I said, John.
You did say.
But listen, man. I like to.
It didn't matter to have Adrian Peterson. You said because it wasn't because they won a championship. Dan Marino, and it's the same rules apply. I
like for my guests to leave happy. So if that's going to give you solace, right? If that's going to allow you to click the red X, right, and go sit in your fucking man cave with a smile on your face and say, I got PTA Sports tonight, then you go right ahead, brother. You go right ahead.
I'm not saying I got. I'm saying valid points are made. I would say if on the judge's scorecard, it probably was, I think.
Go ahead and claim your victory, John, so that you can walk away. You can listen. It's going to allow you to walk away with a smile on your face, right? It's going to walk away. You're going to allow you to walk away with a smile on your face, right? Which is going to make your heart beat a little bit harder, right? It's going to allow blood flow to flow a little better. Your erection will be better tonight, so you can go and bang your girl, and you can thank your boy PTA Sports. I'm better than Viagra. All right? Good. Congratulations to you, John. You're gonna fuck good tonight, John. And that's how you make a good joke.
Listen.
And that's how you make a good joke, John. Off the cuff. And that is how you make a good joke, my guy. You're learning, and that's all that matters. And that's all that matters.
I guess we both learned tonight. I guess we both learned tonight. All right, man.
All right, guys. Listen, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Hey, man. Hey, thank you very much, John, man. Anytime you want to come on, you let me know, man. We'll make it happen. All right, brother?
All right. We could do that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Sounds good, man. You take care.
Bye.
All right. So, listen. That was fun, right? That was enjoyable, right? Nameless, faceless asshole turns out to be John Depot with probably the world's worst fake last name. Comes in here, talks, gives his 2 cents about what's going on, and then we get him the fuck up out of here, y'all. Hey, listen, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get ready to get out of here, man. But I appreciate all y'all for coming and hanging out with me. I hope everybody has a good night. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get ready to click the end stream button. I have got to create a stream ending thing for this whole thing, so that I can click the red button, give y'all a deuces and then get this camera off of me. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this red button, and we're gonna get out of here, man. So I appreciate all y'all for hanging out with me today, man. This was a good time, had fun. Hope y'all all have a great weekend. There'll be some content from me here soon, but until then, right, go get me on Twitch. I'm live on that motherfucker all the time,